Good morning, it's Sadie just checking in for my 4-week update. I've been using the capsules, the cream, the soap, all of it for 4 weeks now. I do notice a little bit of a difference in my breasts now. They feel firmer. They don't feel bigger. I don't feel like they look bigger, but I do notice a difference in the firmness and like the fullness across the top of them, which, I mean, again, I lost a lot of weight, and so you lose a lot of weight, you lose a lot of breast mass, which means the top is no longer firm like it used to be. I lost about 25 pounds. I haven't noticed any changes in my cycle. I'm on cycle day 20, so in my last video I talked about how my cycles were messed up from losing so much weight. I lost the 25 pounds in a period of about 4 to 5 months, which I guess is considered pretty rapid, or at least to my doctor anyway. So it was affecting my cycle and my hormones, and my cycle was just early. And whenever I say early, I mean I went from a 28-day cycle to a 24-day cycle to, I don't know, but my last cycle was 14 days away from the last one, so it was 2 cycles in 1 month. I'm on day 20, and so obviously either I'm evening out or this is helping extend my cycle out, because it can cause late periods, but for me it's causing a normal period, which I won't complain about. The only side effect really that I've noticed is my skin. I am breaking out a little bit. You can see like here, and then on my chin is like, let me get better light. On my chin is constant breakouts, and then around here, and then here. My face is really red just naturally. It's not rosacea or anything like that. It's just you touch my skin, even on my chest. If you touch my skin with any sort of pressure, it's gonna turn red. It's always been like that. I don't know why. But I also just got off of an acne medication, so I can't necessarily say that the products that I'm using are the cause of my breaking out, because I was on an acne medication. It's called spironolactone or aldactone. I'm trying to think of how to put it simply. I was a pharmacy tech for 3 years. So basically what it does is it limits your androgen production whenever you're a woman. It's also used as like a diuretic, a water pill to like get rid of excess fluids. And so I was on it for about 1.5 years, and I got off of it because I'm taking a new medication that it interacts with, and the new medication is a little more important than my skin. So I started taking it because my skin is super, super, super oily. I mean, I look like a grease slick no matter what I do, no matter anything. If I wasn't on that medication, if I didn't blot my skin like 3 times a day, I looked like I had literally poured like vegetable oil all over my face and then just went to work. And which is really strange because my skin is really dry, but the rest of my skin, like on my body my face skin, is really, really oily, but the rest of my skin is really, really dry. And so I do use a little bit more natural products now. I was using very harsh products, and I found that whenever I made the switch, my skin didn't produce as much oils, mostly because I wasn't taking away all the oils that my skin was producing, so I wasn't stripping it and freaking my skin out twice a day. I do my skincare twice a day. I wash my face and all of that in the morning, and I wash my face and all of that in the evening. I don't have any makeup on right now, just so that you can see the breakouts. They're not too bad right now, which is why I don't think that it's like the capsules or the creams or anything, because it seems this is normal compared to my the rest of my cycles, because the rest of my cycles, I mean, and it's expected, or not necessarily expected, but normal, I guess, to break out right around your cycle, and obviously I'm on day 20, so I'm a little bit far out still. I expect in like 5 days or so I will break out, and at that point I know that it's not I guess I don't know, but I would still assume that it's not the products and it's just my hormones rebalancing after getting off the spironolactone. So I gave myself a chemical burn about 5 months ago, because it was right as I started trying to lose weight, and from like cheek and then like the middle of my nose and cheek down, my face was completely burned. My chin was the worst because I was using panoxyl, which I can't remember if it's salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide, but it's 10% of whichever one it is, and that's super, super strong, and I was using it twice a day probably, which even on the bottle it says not to use it twice a day. And then I think it's benzoyl peroxide, and then I was using a salicylic acid toner, and then I was using a moisturizer that had salicylic acid. So after I completely burned my face, I just went a more natural route. So now in the evening, I do use a 2% salicylic acid solution, but that's it. And that's just because I noticed once I completely took the salicylic acid away, there was nothing, like, there were only very small changes. And then once I added it back in, I was able to maintain, or mostly maintain, clear skin. So skin has been a struggle to me for all of my life. You can kind of see it reflecting in the light. I have large pores around here, across my nose, around here, and then on my chin, and then a little bit underneath my chin, and then obviously oily skin. And so oily skin and large pores just means you're gonna break out. I mean, there's no preventing it. I guess there is preventing it, but I haven't found a way other than the spironolactone, which still was not a complete solution. I went from like extra greasy skin to just a little bit of oily skin, but I still had to use products like makeup because I do work in an office. I don't have to wear makeup, but it's looked a little bit better if I do have a full face on, and especially since my face is so red. And so with that, makeup clogs your pores, which isn't healthy. And so whenever I do buy makeup, though, I have to buy stuff that's mattifying still. I have to buy stuff that is meant for oily skin. I'm still, and I never have been, at the point of normal skin. So that big, long explanation, all to say that I am breaking out. It may be the medication, like the supplements that I'm taking, or it may be the fact that I got off of the medication. I don't really know, and that's the worst part about skin, is you don't really know. But at the same time, I do feel like I have to outweigh like pros and cons, and I can cover up the redness, I can cover up the scarring because my skin does scar really easily. All of that with makeup. I can't fix my breasts with makeup, and I don't want to gain 20 pounds back just to have nice breasts again. I lost 20 pounds for a reason, and it's because I wasn't happy. And now, for the most part, I'm happy with how I look.